Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever, wherever, and welcome back to Chalice. Look, it's these wonderful people. Look, they're all here. This is a momentous occasion. I had a cake and everything, but I ate it all and will not share. So here we are again, ready to jump back into Chalice, ready to see exactly what's happening to certain people, because, you know, how dare they have a life outside of this and not be forewarned and forearmed to what comes next. Hey, Jago, you're going to have a real fun time tonight. Speaking of Jago, what we'll do, as always, is we'll run around, we'll say hello before we inevitably prepare for the worst. And I said his name last, so we'll say his name first. Jago, who are you?
Hello, I'm Jago. I play Jack. Let's face it at this point, a bit of a freak of nature. The botanical garden, the decorative house plants, all of these things can be used to describe him. Yeah, I'm actually really curious because I didn't see the last. Obviously, it wasn't here, and I haven't watched it because, like most of you watching, no spoilers.
Oh, damn, I was hoping you'd know.
No, not a clue.
Well, there were two wonderful people here last week who might be able to catch you up. And one of them is, they're not looking at the screen, so Lynn.
Oh, I was reading my notes. Hi, I'm Lynn. I play Florance, and she, trying not to spoiler it before the recap, got into some interesting situations last week. Looking for Burton and Jack, because she might have previously drunken herself under the table. Yeah, try not to spoil it yet.
You've got at least a little while. And of course, last but by no means least, I'll get those words right. Kay.
Hi, y'all. I'm Kay. I'm playing Burton. They, them, and Burton had, a fun little last two sessions, a side quest with each of the others. A little solo time. Going to have a lot to unpack after this little trip, and going to try real hard to make something right here. Cards were not in my favor last time.
When are they ever?
This was exceptionally.
Oh, that bad.
It was.
I don't think I pulled above a 5 the entire session.
Oh, Lord.
It was real bad.
By the martyr.
Florance was like pulling high cards. Everyone's like, how long is this going to last? I'm like, until it's my turn. And sure enough.
Secretly, Danny was just in the background changing the deck.
Yeah. He's like, I know what will make this interesting.
Like, I do enjoy failing forward. Mostly just failed.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of forward momentum there.
No.
The only forwards you went was when you fell forwards.
That was you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Spoilers?
Oh, okay. Well, let's kill the spoilers now. As always, I'm Ben. I'm here. I'm everyone who isn't these wonderful people, which in this case is, good news and bad news for Jago. As per usual, I do my thing. I am going to be the horrendous herald of horrible horizons today. And as in the meantime, I'll be heckling these heretics. On that.
Strong recovery.
Go on, Danny. Take a... Hello again. We've been discussing what Sith Santa Claus would look like in that wonderful intro time. Clearly, it's a topic.
Very important.
Yeah, I find your lack of gifts disturbing. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with that. Why not? Right. As we talk about jokes that are only going to end badly, I went straight into you, Jago. Let's get a little recap on how last week went and see where we are before we start. In situ, who would like to take it? I'm going to be really nice, and I'm going to say everyone gets a bonus card today, not for any particular reason. And I'm not even going to put a timer on. How wonderful is that?
Ooh.
Clearly, Sith Santa is bringing the spirit of joy.
That's Santa. I should bring him up more often.
Yeah.
I thought Kay was like, right, I'm out.
I knew that was our good luck charm.
Sith Santa, everyone.
Sith Santa is everyone's good luck charm.
Okay, so last week we started off, we were separated. Jack and Burton were, he said underground, under decks, and Florance started off on the biscuit. Captain came, woke her up. She's walking along the biscuit. Florance is walking along the biscuit for what seems like forever. Ship seems to go on forever. Then finally, boom, she arrives at the ghost ship. Goes up a ladder, bumps into a random guy called Lucas, and also gets into a bit of a tussle with these weird zombies that just repeat the same word over and over and over again. Manages to beat him after a bit of a scrap, sneaks into the ship to go below decks because she assumes that's where Burton and Jack are. Whilst Florance is doing that, Burton and Jack below decks. Jack is like, he fell over in the water, and then Burton's lamp got extinguished by a woman who had no face, and then Burton saw that Jack was suspended like by his vines, a bit Jesus-y like. So Burton then cut Jack down and then tried to drag Jack through the cargo hold and up the stairs very slowly, using a bit of magic to get his butt moving, because he's heavy and weird and rocky and covered in plants. All the meanwhile, faceless zombie lady is whistling at them and following them. Two paths finally meet in the cargo hold, which thankfully has some light. Burton and Florance are trying to get Jack's sort of semi-unconscious, kind of being told by magic to move body out of the cargo hold, but Jack's vines are kind of like, no, I want to go over to this lady, but they're also like, I also want to root into the floor. And then Burton is trying to deal with the faceless lady, and Florance is trying to get Jack out of the room, but also because session before that, Jack and Burton tried to sink the ship. Ship's filling with water. We're all knee-deep in water, trying to get Jack out the door, dealing with faceless lady. Fail 5 convince checks, I think. And then Canehurst shows up with some sort of device that makes all the zombies on the ship, but also affects Burton. Burton falls in the water. Florance decides not to shoot Canehurst and instead stop Burton from drowning, and I think that's about where we were.
Also, there were faces floating in the water.
Oh yeah, faces. I forgot about that.
I'm sorry.
Why I've banned that from my brain.
Sorry, but the fucking Canehurst turned off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, you may have missed a fairly significant detail there, right at the end, Lynn, on exactly how we ended.
Yeah.
Hey gets this.
My drown.
Hey gets it.
Yeah. No, you're standing, unmoving, and Canehurst comes running down the stairs, sword raised.
Yeah. I was considering shooting him.
I have a plan. I don't know if it's a good one.
Oh,
I have a plan.
I'm glad someone has a plan, because I'm going to currently very quickly make one.
So at the moment, I think it goes Canehurst, Jack, and then me probably yanking Burton up.
Oh, Canehurst gets to go first, does he?
Well, we're actually
No, just in like where we're all standing in this room.
Yeah.
Well,
and there's also like creepy skinless lady still, or faceless lady is still alive, and like
is she like
just howling
is she like
in pain.
going rare or like?
Well, at the moment she's going because whatever device Canehurst has is affecting.
Okay, she's just sort of being spooky in the corner.
She was trying. She was going to help us.
Oh, was she? Sure.
Florance and I. She wants you, and we were like, no, come mess with us.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she was saying
also,
that, like,
we're gonna have a talk because she and I had a talk.
Oh, and she also mentioned the name Sybil, and we think that she knows, like, the hand monster because, like, she was like saying he took her face and her skin and whatnot. So we think it's to do with that.
I don't know.
We don't know who Sybil is, but it's a name that she mentioned.
Who's the Sybil?
That's a great poker face you've got there, Jago.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me to play poker with you for real money.
Did we cover enough to get a card?
Just to play on hard.
You're going to get the card anyway.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm not giving 2 extra cards. If Santa is not that lovely.
Sif Santa, you need Jedi Santa for that.
Although,
we know how kind the cards are being to me. I just want to make sure I got my.
You know what? I'm going to follow this parable or comment to its fullest extent because, as with the Sith, always 2 there are. Never more, never less. Have 2 extra cards.
Thank you, Ben Kenobi.
Well,
benefits
the
to be
card didn't help me that
being
much.
a nerd, motherfucker.
Okay. So I've now
benefits to being a nerd.
So we now have 5 cards at our disposal.
Whoever said being a nerd doesn't pay, they're wrong.
It pays in cards that have no intrinsic value outside.
I have a feeling.
Dice.
I wish it was a foreshadowing filter because I have a feeling Ben's like, I'm going to give them extra cards because what I have planned.
That's exactly what's happening.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I mean, before we jump in, the first thing I'm going to say, for the first time this entire season, and we are 9 episodes in, is I need everyone to draw initiative.
You draw from the main deck, or
you draw from the main deck? You can cheat if you want.
Who's clicking first?
I did. That's a 13.
That's pretty snazzy.
My curse is broken.
We should have gone in alphabetical order of like JKL for our IRL names. That's okay. Jago, do you want to go next?
I'm sure I'll do it. Brilliant.
No.
6.
9? No, that's a 9, you noodle. That's a 9.
That's a 6 on mine.
What?
Where am I going?
It's the top left, not the bottom right number.
Yeah. Also, you can just count the things like you can on normal cards.
I am also stupid. Let's keep that in mind. And I've come off a 12-hour shift. This is gonna be a fun session.
Oh boy.
Okay. Don't worry.
I mean, you're ready for what your character, because you don't. We're gonna have to talk about what happened to your character. But that's.
I wish I'd gone 7. In my mind, that's a 3, but I think Jago would say that's an 8.
I was going to go with 25.
Yeah, 25. That secret 25 that I...
Yeah, you just slipped in there.
Yeah, I just drew a 25 just to...
just to see if anyone was noticed.
Initiative value to this.
Oh, add my initiative value. Thank you. Sorry. I
would have forgotten.
I thought you would just like draw a card.
I don't.
No, you. It should be on there.
I'm at 0 anyway, so 9.
-1, 2.
Hey.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Well,
okay, so that's a 14.
Hey.
Oh, come on.
In which case,
I'm the one with the plan. You want me going first?
Yes, please go first.
Make the cane husk go away.
I'm trying.
So, I will tell you the initiative order.
Oh.
Please,
we're
parent of the
broadcasting
party.
currently.
Please.
Starting.
Please, not me.
With a 17 is just a arcane host.
Oh, you fucker.
This will not eliminate the one word Burton gets to shout beforehand.
Hang on a minute.
Coming in next.
We get to draw cheats, don't we?
Is Burton at 14.
In theory, we can cheat this.
Then the faceless woman.
Oh, she's at play. Lovely.
At 12. And then Jack. And then Florance. Just, just bringing up the rear there.
Yep. I mean, I could cheat it, but this early on, no. I want to save these.
You've got 5 cards.
I know, but I'm saving them.
Yeah, we don't know when we're going to get more.
Yeah.
This is true. Well, with that said and done, let's jump back in. As with last time, we find ourselves stuck below decks. Water is rushing around the knees of Burton, Florance, and Jack as the flickering, barely solid form of this faceless, skinless woman twitches and thrashes nearby, screaming and filling the air with a ravenous hatred and despair that seems to pierce through your skin and into your blood and soul. Nearby, the water crashes around the steel boots of Just Arcanehurst as he strides purposefully forward, the silver of his sword splashing through the air, drawing rapidly towards the head of Jack. Jack, who stands there, his body still erupting and decaying in purple flowers, in flashing vines, and in spurts of blackish red blood that flick out in every direction. Burton and Florance, you lean on the wall nearby as Florance picks you up out of the water. You can see the woman next to you still dipping in and out of sight, those same purple-violet runes flashing in the air where her body should be, and you watch from a distance as that blade draws closer and closer and closer. You have time but to utter a single word before the blade falls.
Burton
What do you
is
say?
just hanging one arm around Florance, just almost dead weight, drenched. And too loud because their ears are still ringing from whatever is doing this. And they just shout, Boedia! Looking at Canehurst.
Okay. You scream out.
This.
As you do, you watch a slight twitch in his form. His helmet moves towards you, and you feel again that overwhelming sensation of distance in your body grow harder and further. It is now excruciatingly painful. But as you shout, you watch his blade twist. It still descends towards Jack. You see it pull back just an inch at the end, as instead of removing his head from his shoulders, there's a single clean as the blade rushes across his face, severing the vines covering his eyes and nose and mouth and sending them sprawling out in every direction. A thin line of blood flicks away, and you can see from Jack, your point of view, a sudden flash of pain as for the first time in you don't know how long, you see light. And directly in front of you, you see the helmeted form of Just Arcanehurst, his blade rushing past your eyes and leaving a horrendous cut running from the top left of your eyebrow down across your nose and over the right-hand side of your face. There is a flick of blood that splashes into the water, and you see his form, the kind of silvery white of his hair tucked in under that full face helmet, the fluttering of the heavy black cloak and the white robed and armored form that lies beneath.
This isn't a good look.
No.
This is not a good look.
The blade passes by you, he shifts slightly and sidesteps you, taking a single heavy step into the water beside you, and you hear his voice very lowly start to mutter. It takes you a moment to actually pick up what he's saying. Pick yourself up. Make yourself fucking useful. Burton. Canehurst ends his action. He seems to be waiting. What do you do?
Burton is going to shift to lean themselves more on the wall behind them than on Florance, so she can do her thing and be more useful than they currently are. And they're not pulling out weapons yet. Don't think they could aim it with how bad everything hurts. But they're going to just, and it's slow and sluggish and heavy, and when they speak, it is always just a little too loud because of the ringing in their ears. And they're going to point to the faceless woman and say, "There's a Goetia necromancer, practiced. Look at this. He wants Jack. If you kill him, we got nothing. And I don't know if there's anything more I can do, because I understand I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm going to try and look at those ruins as she flickers in and out."
You can certainly do that. That has no problem whatsoever. Can you make me, he says, trying to remember the exact test I asked you to make last time. I want to say it was a spelling check to try and understand it. May have been runes. It may have been necromancy, actually.
I think it was necromancy, but I'm also trying to figure out if I counterspell it. But I think it was figure out the necromantic ruins to be able to counterspell it.
That works.
And if
In
I
which
don't
case,
have necromancy, I can use charm, correct? Because that
correct.
is the casting. Okay.
Can you make me a difficulty 12 check then, please, as the runes continue just to flash in and out in front of you?
That is a natural 13 plus 3.
Nice. With a moment to
Thank you,
actually.
Where were
moment
you last session?
Hawaii.
Waiting, clearly waiting. With a moment to actually compose yourself, even through the pain, you stare at the runes that just hang in the air. Briefly and momentarily, they disappear beyond the thrashing, violent form of the woman as she still blinks into existence, the water raising up from below, formulating into a facsimile of a body, before immediately just crashing away once again under Canehurst's gaze. You stare at the runes, you try to drag your memory back to any knowledge that you may have that pertains to it, any musty old tome, any report that's passed over your desk, any half-believed rumor that's passed your ears. And it starts to click in. They're not runes of resurrection, they're not runes of control. It's, if anything, they're runes of amplification. The type of thing that someone would use to draw an immense amount of power and life force into a singular location. Something that the blacker arts of Shamrock would use to create a spell of immense power. Something that would take someone who is able to light a small match with their hands to incinerate a block of buildings. But there's no follow-up. There's no runes on there that dictate another spell. There's nothing that gives any hint that maybe this has purpose. It seems to just be forcing something into this poor woman. You are fairly sure it can be disrupted. But as you succeeded enough, you know that even if you disrupt it, all of that power has to go somewhere. Is there anything else you would like to attempt that turn? As that is only one of your actions. Even in pain, you can attempt to do something else.
Well, the next thing I'm going to try and do is counterspell it. But before I do that, I'm going to look at Canehurst. I think I can stop it. Can can you help channel this energy? She needs help.
His gaze doesn't break from her. You can just hear his voice again, pushing through the mask, slightly muffled. Destroy it. Now.
I can break it, but the energy's gonna go somewhere.
Take her below the deck. Destroy the ship with her.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
He turns his head towards Jack. Drag her down. Hold her there. Then you can break the spell.
Oh, the boss man.
You get the implication that he does understand you.
Okay.
He just doesn't care.
Got further than we expected, to be honest.
As the words leave your lips, again, the form of the woman continues to twitch and shake. She drops down to her knees, and you can actually start to hear, all of you, this slow pull of water as the waves around you begin to pull backwards. There is a rushing of air and the scent of salt starting to build its way into the towards your senses. And you realize that the water is starting to recede away from you.
I'm gonna look at Jack. Is Jack gonna do this?
Oh, great. Is it my turn now?
I mean,
No.
it's not, but I'm looking at you like, are you good?
I'm ready. I'm ready to rumble. Being a hanging plant was fun, but let's go.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a lot of talking, and I know this is real quick, but I mean, I'm gonna look at Jack.
We're doing it.
Like, do it, and is gonna
Let's
look
roll.
at Florance and just say, "Get out of here," and start heading down because we don't have any other choice.
You pick yourself up and start just one arm bracing you as you kind of pull yourself to your feet, and you can already feel your limbs starting to weaken and shake. You
And
have
I'm in that
to hold
gray
against the wall.
coat that's now waterlogged, and I'm skinny to start with, so it's just like a drowned rat in a wool long jacket, just like.
Looks Burton on shoulders.
We're gonna talk about what happened last session.
I don't know what happened last session. I wasn't here.
It's real funny.
It's not my fault.
You continue to pull your way down towards the ballast deck. You can still see the water starting to pour into it. At this point, there are great gulps of the ocean. You see bubbles popping through these now kind of clattering open and closed trapdoor. You can see glimmering violet light emanating out from beneath that trapdoor now. And as you see that and as you move, the screams of the woman grow. And behind you, in front of both Florance and Jack, she begins to pull away, her form disappearing and reappearing in the water as she pulls step by step in great flickering movements. And see her arms twitching and breaking, her neck thrashing in every direction, and still always the screams. She moves past you, Burton. You get a brief image of her moving by you, descending into the water. The trapdoor slams open once more, and she just disappears beneath the waves. For a moment, the screams dissipate, and there is a grim silence in the air, as the only sound is the rushing water.
And the water level is receding.
Correct.
Well,
Is your turn, Jack.
well, it's down there. I get. Okay, I'll follow it. Why the fuck not? This is all great ideas are built on dumb ideas.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that look. Let me cook. Let me cook.
You start pushing through the water.
I don't know what I'm cooking, but
as you start to move, you can actually feel a semblance of control over yourself. You can feel the vines and plant life across your form moving in reaction to yourself. You do feel this aching strain across your body, as if you've been being pulled and thrown, and your skin feels oddly loose in places, as if a great mass has been building up beneath it, and your form just hasn't quite managed to recede. You take 2 great steps towards the trapdoor, the water already receding around you and dropping to the point below your knees, past your shins and towards your feet.
Is the trapdoor any smaller from when I would last went through it?
Not really.
Okay.
It's about the same.
Just keeping conscious of the scale of things.
It's still large enough for you to be able to push through.
Okay. And
however,
is there water to the brim of it?
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
However, as you move forwards, you immediately step into Canehurst's gaze, and all the plant life goes dead. That small movements that signify the life just stop. The poppies begin to recede into your skin. You can feel the stone on your body closing away.
Oh.
You even feel small as pieces of rock drop from your form and impact into the water.
This is kind of nice.
They are leaving great wounds.
Oh,
as if scabs.
Oh.
As if great stony scabs across your form were just peeling away of their own volition. It hurts, it aches. And every step you take away from Canehurst and towards that door, it actually feels lessened.
Oh.
Not dramatically, not enough for it to stabilize, but it's as if there's this well near him that's just drawing something away from you. You splash through the water, you pass by Burton, by Florance, and come to stand just in front of the door. The trapdoor just holds there now, just gently bobbing as the water finally just pools beneath it. Not enough to actually allow it to close. It's still just there, lapping the surface. You can see the same violet lights dancing beneath.
I'm gonna rip open the trapdoor quickly, and with the intention, if I see the faceless woman, to just grab and pull. If nothing,
you swing the door up, and immediately you are greeted by nothing but black and violet-coloured water. It just gently rests there, lapping against the edge of the trapdoor. You see nothing beneath it, only the colours on the surface.
Okay. Well, it's down there. Burton, do you need line of sight to do whatever you're going to do? Or how close do you need to be? Can you do it from here? Because it's where we want it to be.
So, I'm gonna have to ask the GM there's a couple different options I have with counterspell, and I don't know which option that's gonna be exactly. So, yeah, I can't quite answer that yet.
I can tell you immediately, as you did well enough. This is the type of spell that you're going to need to actually work on the runes themselves.
Okay.
You're going to need to be able to touch them.
Okay. And And if we're playing loosey goosey off the books, like that's fine. But according to the rules, there's a couple different things, and I'm looking at the list, and I assume it's either unravel necromancy or break enchantment.
It will be closer to break enchantment.
Okay, that's fine. I can work with that. I'm gonna have to get right up. And like, you have never seen Burton look this bad. Burton looks absolutely terrible.
I'm going fishing. Do I have any control over the vines? Again?
The vines are dead. They have no movement. They have no life to them.
Fuck, I don't want to ask things of Canehurst. I don't want to ask things of him. That would be rude.
You did say to make yourself useful.
Hopefully it returns when breaking line of sight. Alright, I'm going in. I'm going to keep one hand on the trapdoor's edge, and and if at any point during that process I get control over vines, then I'm going to try and do that grapple hook. If I've got any control like that, and try and hold. So I've got a line so I can hold by, because I know I can't see shit.
Keep in mind that the trapdoor itself has no significant bracing. If you hold on to it, you will close it behind you as you drop inside.
What about like the edge where the trapdoor hole? That's what I assumed he was holding on to.
Yeah, I'll just, if it's the door that's going to flap down, I'll just rip off the door and chuck it away.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just hold on to the edge.
Yeah, that's what the plan was. But yeah, I'm gonna, if at any point during that process of going under, yeah, I'll just latch onto the. I'll send those vines to latch onto the frame if I've got any kind of control.
Okay. Are you planning on trying to literally putting your hand onto the side and then dropping in, or just dropping in?
I put my hand on the side and dropping in, and then I'll keep a hand on it, and then
you place a hand onto the side and get ready to jump. There again is nothing but silence that follows you. You kind of can still feel the gaze of all three people in that room on your back as you drop. As your feet descend, you immediately expect to hit stairs. There is nothing below you.
Fuck.
You immediately just drop into a black abyss. The water rushes past your feet, your knees, your stomach, your chest, up to your neck, past your head, and you are engulfed. All sight vanishes. Your nose is filled with water, and you can feel it bubbling around your ears as the last pieces of air vacate.
I'm just gonna put my other hand out to the back wall. That I should. By my understanding, I should be able to reach that back wall.
As you kind of drop and start to grip, can you immediately make me an athletics check at difficulty 8? Draw 2 cards, take the best as you did brace before you jumped in.
There's no bottom of the ship. Okay.
This keeps getting better and better.
With the athletics, you say?
Athletics, says I.
Could I offer you a might instead? It might be off might anyway.
It is off might anyway.
Oh, it is off might.
I have a feeling that Florance has just sort of watched Jack walk over and plunge himself, and she's doing some sort of face palm in the background. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit better. 16. 16. 16.
Perfect. That's a very good success.
Okay.
You manage to wrap your hands around the surface and grip in place strong enough that you do not simply descend into this, what feels like an endless abyss below. You thrust out your left hand and reach for the stairs, for the wall, for anything, and there is nothing.
Okay, I'm pulling myself up. I'm pulling myself up. Fuck that. No. We ain't doing that.
You immediately drag yourself up and just pull your head over the water.
There's no bottom of the ship.
There's no bottom. As you come up, you catch the briefest glimpse of 2 eyes watching you.
There's no bottom of the ship. There's no bottom of the ship.
We were just down there.
There's no bottom anymore. It's gone.
As you hold there, Jack, the water cascading around your head, logged into your hair and into your ears, you just start to feel something. Not a physical sensation, just this nagging feeling at the back of your mind, this intense dread. You'll never see Sam again. Edelyn died for nothing. You are going to die here. Your wife, your child, they are gone. Everyone dies, Jack. You're the only one left. How dare you? I need you to make a difficulty 10 centering challenge, please.
Centering. Oh, I do have centering. Do I? Yeah, that's centering. Okay, +2. That's an ace. So,
For 1.
yeah, 3 total. If that helps.
You have cheat.
Cheat.
You want cheat?
What was the difficulty again?
And I also need to know if that was a crow.
It was a mask.
Then you're fine.
Oh.
Well,
Well,
not fine. But not slightly more fucked.
relatively. But that would be
All things
Okay.
considered.
that would be quite lovely. Yes, let's cheat with this Jack,
Of
which is
Jack for Jack.
Make sure it's not a crow.
shit. Where was that? I had a conversion thingy.
Crows
what's
is
this do?
Clubs.
Okay.
clubs is
That's
tomes.
Tomes. You're
You're
fine.
fine.
I had a conversion somewhere, but it's disappeared.
You can still feel that dread in the back of your mind. You can still just feel the pull, hear the voice. It's not yours. It might be hers. It might be in the water. You don't know. It sounds more distant, more tied to something else. Maybe a life that came before this life.
Whoever the fuck I was, it's not me anymore.
Maybe it's hers. Florance,
Hello.
you watch Jack plunge and then re-emerge from the water, begin to shout that there's no bottom, and then he just goes quiet. His face drops. And he just kind of holds himself there.
That's cool. I am going to poke Jack and try and snap him out of it a bit and ask him if he saw anything down there other than the fact that there is no bottom to this ship.
You walk across. The water at this point has completely receded. There's just a wet, slopping sound as your waterlogged clothes make their way across the deck, and you lower yourself down to Jack's face. There is, for the first time in ever, you realise that the wound on his face that normally is lashed together by vines just hangs loosely open. The two skin flaps, is the easiest way to describe it, just linger.
Nice.
Yeah. Not a word you like to use often, but I can't think of another way of doing so.
Nope.
Not every day
Skin
you get to use the
flaps.
phrase skin flaps, so you know.
That's
Look
right.
at him. Look at them skin flaps.
Jack's
You can
flaps,
see-
flapjacks.
His gums and teeth below. You realise as you look at him that some of his rear teeth aren't white, they are a deep black. The gums bear marks of small pulsating vines beneath that just lie dead at the moment. as dead as the look in his eyes.
That's cool. It's not cool,
You-
but
Gnarly, bro.
You just offer a slap to his face, and it is enough to kind of bring your senses back, Jack.
There's no problem with the ship. There's some weird channel of fuckery going on, which obviously, but it's not there, or somehow it's been sheared away.
okay. So we're on a zombie-filled ghost ship thing that doesn't have a bottom, that we try to sink, is no longer sinking, but could still sink at any moment. I mean, I vote for getting out of here. Burton said to get out of here. I think we should just leave.
I would second that vote.
Yeah.
Because
We could just leave that woman here. She's gone,
I mean,
right?
well, yes and no, but we are not currently equipped to deal with it.
Nope.
She
You are
wants
close
Jack.
enough
We
to
gotta
hear
get
this.
Jack out of here.
We're not. We haven't got the equipment to deal with this. I'm hesitant to act too hasty due to the esteemed visitor.
Yeah, I vote we leave. Burton, you too.
I would second that.
Yeah, drop it and run.
Kanehurst got cat.
Yeah, Kanehurst can deal with
behind
it.
you.
I don't
You do
want
look
to.
behind you.
I don't
and
want
see-
to.
Well, considering the position you're in, Jack, you have no choice but to look past Florance to Kanehurst's form at the back of that corridor.
Yeah. Oh,
And you just-
wow.
His sword is still drawn. He's placed it into the deck, literally just stabbed it in place, and is currently wrapped both of his hands just in front of him. His head has declined. You can see again his wispy, kind of, again, silvery white hair loosely hanging on his shoulders. You get the impression that he's praying. But his eyes are still open and still gazing directly at all three of you.
Okay.
Robbed him.
If
Everything
I'm,
in my power
it's
to
not my turn initiative, but
You can still talk. I'm happy for you to talk as
Okay.
a group right now.
Burton is doing that stubborn thing that I'm sure drives Florance absolutely bananas, and is just going to look past Florance and Jack to Kanehurst and say, "She wants Jack. We got to get him out of here. I'm not going to leave her to suffer, but Jack has got to leave or she's going to take him."
His voice calls out. Why?
I don't know, but if he knows something, we need to know it. If we don't have him, we're going to have to be chasing whoever did this from nothing.
Do we know who did this?
Might give us some clues.
Do you actually ask that, or is that like a
Yeah.
player question?
No, that's a character question.
I can say, unless explicitly stated otherwise, we'll just treat everything that's said as your character is saying.
Perfect.
So,
Just making sure. Yeah, Burton not letting their eyes leave Kanehurst is going to say the smiling man.
Mhm.
Or was it the grinning man? One of the two.
Smiling man.
Smiling man.
That's a
his form doesn't shift. He still holds himself in position.
smiling.
And the
We-
colour of...
Are of Chalice. We do not run from this.
I'm not running, but we shouldn't give her what she wants.
You, Jack,
Yes.
what do you know of this? Of any of this?
Little, but it's not alien, completely alien. Something.
There's movement in the water below you.
Put a box over the trapdoor.
You haven't actually come out of the water yet.
What?
Oh, I
it was
thought
out.
he had. Yeah, I thought it was out.
way out.
You kind of just half done so because you'd run
Oh,
out.
no,
of
no,
action.
no, we out. No.
Wait, so for this whole conversation,
Have I
Jack
just
has
been
just
He's
been
been
like,
bobbing in the water.
Brilliant.
He ran out of action.
Biggest
so
rubber ducky ever.
Yeah.
I've been taking a soak.
just the thought of Kanehurst standing there being all strict and Jack
Just
just like bobbing like
Wait.
a.
So,
Is this a
Well,
salt ocean?
thankfully, yeah.
Oh, all those cuts.
oh no! Oh, it stings like a son of a bitch.
Oh my word.
Either way,
Oh.
I'm going to assume at that point that Florence, you help him out of the water.
I'm gonna help Jack out the
Get me out
water.
of here! Get me out of here! No!
Kanehurst holds his position still.
I'm gonna put a box on that thing as soon as I'm out of here, and then I'll start talking.
She is an unknown. If we have something she wants, then we use it.
You mean to
We
use
give
Jack
her
as
what-
bait?
I intend to use the man as bait. I think he has
Well,
a
I can't-
checkbook to balance.
And I would agree that that is a very good tactical assessment. But at the same time, right in this position we are right now, this is beyond our equipment. I don't.
I need to get in range to. I need to undo this. I need to be up against her. So let
Can we pull her out of the
Jack it
water?
somewhere.
Is what
right.
we're
Let Jack get
suggesting.
somewhere easier so I can work, and let Florence get back to the biscuit.
You don't want me to stay for backup?
I want at least
In
one of us to
case-
get out of this lab.
With all due respect, the High Lord Executioners on our side, on our side's a strong word, backing us up.
Mm.
He draws his sword, literally just pulling it from the ground and begins to walk towards you.
Fuck.
I can undo this,
Okay.
but I need to get close to her. And I don't
Then
know what's
what-
going to happen when this energy goes, and I'm not letting my partner go down with me.
Then what do you need? Tell me your plan.
Burton, I need to be able to get to her back. So if she's going to come out to get Jack, and they're going to kind of look at Jack like, I'm so sorry. Like they can't.
Is what it is. I know my role in this.
Let Florence get out. She can at least, if all goes bad, she can at least tell them what we're fighting. There's a bigger threat here. It's not Jack. It's whoever did this. Whatever this thing is, it's been hunting Jack. This isn't about him anymore. This is something bigger. So let her get out so we can at least warn the people of Chalice.
He, at this point, has kind of stood just in front of you all.
And
Make
I
me-
imagine it's getting worse as he gets closer.
Mhm.
Very, very much so.
It
It is
stings.
burning.
Is it affecting? It's not
really-
affecting me at all, is it?
You
'Cause I'm
feel
not-
nothing.
It sucks.
I really need you to just not look at me too.
How-
while we're
His gaze doesn't shift from you.
It cringes so
And
hard.
you make me a convince check. The
Okay.
No,
difficulty.
there are weakness. There are weakness.
Talking.
At difficulty
Like,
9.
Okay, so hold on. Centering. I have convince +3. I have charm +3. I have the honest, so I get to draw 2 and take the higher.
Oh.
A 6.
So I need a 4. Well, that's an ace. Oh, come on. Give me the card. And that's an 8 + 4 for a 12.
I fell
Thank you,
for you
Martyr.
there.
That was gonna be
I had to cheat. I had enough to cheat this time, but
I won't lie, I was expecting the Black Joker.
if it was,
I-
it would
I was
literally just
so
be like
afraid.
open hatch, shot it,
Yeah.
gone.
right,
Get it
yeah,
away.
just yeet me. Yeah, no, Burton has like ears are ringing, sopping wet, barely able to stand up, but jaw is set, and those big brown eyes are just staring hard as steel back at Canehurst. I can fix this.
His deep, kind of almost ocean-esque blue eyes glaring back at you. And there's a small nod. Warden Florance, what is your full name?
Florence Lane, sir.
Are you a dutiful servant of Chalice?
I believe so. I mean, I haven't tried to be anything else my whole life.
He brings a hand up and places it on the top of the helmet, just slowly drawing it off. His hair cascades down as he does so, revealing a very gaunt, not clean-shaven, grizzled features below. A series of heavy scars run across his face, 3 large, raking claw marks running from the top to the base. Several burn marks pock his left-hand side. You can see a deep gash beneath his right eye, and a lifetime of injuries just dance across his features. The moment the helmet is removed, the pressure on you begins to fade. And he turns again once to Florance. Then carry this back to my ship.
Your
And he
ship.
just pushes the helmet towards you.
Okay, I take it. And your ship,
You
sir,
can.
not the biscuit.
My ship to the Forgiven.
Okay, I will do. And I would hug Burton, but I have a feeling that the helmet that I'm holding in my hands would not make that nice. So I'm just going to
Maybe about
stay.
10.
I will see you guys soon in the fervent hope that they've got this, knowing Burton's capabilities. And I'm just going to turn. Well, I'm going to sort of walk backwards just to like keep an eye on my friends before I get to the door, and then just like really like go, I don't like this at all, and then head up the steps away.
You
Burton will
pull.
meet your
Go
eyes
ahead.
and give a nod. Just, this is really what they want.
Yeah.
So awkward.
You pull away, taking step by step, and once again, Canehurst's gaze falls from you. By the grace and the light of the martyr, Florence Lane, be safe.
And you.
He gives a very small nod and returns his attention to both Jack and Burton.
Burton nods and just says thank you, and kind of pushes up these soggy waterlogged sleeves that just fall right back down, and is just going to start looking and hunting and trying to find where she is.
You still stand within the cargo hold of a fairly large ship. There are ropes lying in several large spools that have been unraveled and now lay kind of barren against the floor. You can see a few hanging chains on one far end of the wall, and laden on in kind of various disgruntled piles now are various bits of cargo, open boxes, sodden foodstuffs, even a few kind of still corked bottles of old wine, rums, and the such rolling slowly on the deck or on the base of the ship.
So gonna look at Jack and just be like, make somewhere central obvious. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me just try and get some of this get this back, and I'm going to try and consolidate.
Almost naturally, you can feel the vines starting to pull back into place, the livelihood of them becoming reinvigorated. Already you can feel the ones starting to patch the wound on your face. And same for yourself, where this latent power starts to draw itself back into your form, and it's a warmth to it.
I don't exactly like it, but it is nice to have something familiar. I'm going to lean into Jack and drop my voice. If you see her, keep as far away from her as you can.
I thought my job was to pin her.
That's what Canehurst want. Those vines are going to grab at her if you like it or not. If she gets her hooks in you, I don't know that what I'm going to do is not going to hurt you too.
I know my role in this. It's going to sting like hell.
Like, you see genuine dread in Burton's eyes.
I'm just going to put my meaty claw on Burton's shoulder. My rocky claw. Rocky claw. Not sure if you've noticed, but, well, you know what my group was doing, gallivanting through the country, whether it was accident or intentional, is pointless. I intend to make amends, and if that hell, if that's even if this is small fry, then by all means, if it's one person that I'm forgiven for taking, then so be it. This is a start.
You're going to be a lot more used to us fixing all this alive than dead. Just remember that. Don't be being a martyr if you don't got to be.
Oh, no, I won't be remembered at all if I die or when I die. I will not.
If you die as a man and not a weapon, you will be remembered.
I'm a freaking
Aho says as he walks away from you, passing across the room and just pulling one of the chains off of the wall.
Let's look obvious and appetizing.
Burton's going to kind of pat that great big clawed hand that feels a little bit different now that understands what a lot of that means.
Rocky claw.
And so again, I don't know if this is going to work. One of the things I can do with counterspelling, because I don't know if this is prestidigitation, but that's one of the things I can do to try and reveal her if she is, if I think she's using some kind of magic to hide herself. Otherwise, I'm just going to start like scanning the room.
You scan the room, and even without a notice check, I can tell you quite happily that nothing around you is changing. You watch as Canehurst drags a significant length of chain off of the wall, and during his action, he just takes one half of it and starts wrapping it around his waist, tightening it in place before walking across to Jack and handing him the other side. The length of chain has about 20 extra feet in it.
That's a bad idea. I'll do the same.
You start wrapping it around your waist, and as you do so, Canehurst turns to you, Burton. She is a predator. That much is evident. She knows we're here, and she's either scared of us or waiting for us. We go to her. He goes to her. And Jack, when she comes to you, you grab her. And I will pull you both back.
Understood.
Then all is in your hands, Warden.
I understand.
Know, though, should you falter or fail, I will simply destroy her.
understand. I got one chance. Try and help. And Burton will look to Jack. And knowing that Canehurst is going to judge the living heck out of them for it, is just going to quietly to Jack say, she's a victim and she's hurting.
I'll try to be gentle.
Don't be too worried about that. Just know I'm going to try and do it the right way.
I'm trying to make amends, so I like that statement. Let's get wet.
At which point, he stands next to the door, takes his blade and just slams it into the floor. Wrapping his hands white knuckle around it, you can hear the interlinking pieces of plate mail around his gauntlet just clinking in the silence. Is there anything you would particularly like to do, Burton, or are you going to hold your action until such a time as it is needed?
I am ready to start working on those runes the minute they're in sight. I could try and throw a heal to Jack, but the vines are working and my enchantment magic is not very strong right now, so...
Okay. So unless you have any particular impetuous right now, we lead straight to Jack.
Okay. I'll walk over, and we're basically going to enter the same way, but now that I've got vines, we're going to have a little bit of extra grip on the side of the trapdoor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word I was looking for.
Make me a centering check of 11 just to establish proper control.
Right. Oh, right. Centering.
Tenacity if you don't have it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I must have been going off the wrong stat before, but... okay, so... I do not... Okay, where's tenacity? Yeah, okay, +3. So I would have still made that one. I completely forgot what you said the check was. What the...
I said 9.
9,
Centering
okay,
9.
yeah. 8 +3, so we're good.
You descend down, gripping in place, and immediately feel the vines pushing through the skin of your fingers and breaking between the stones. Again, the stones are starting to already peel back up through the skin. You can feel them shifting beneath your body. And for the first time, you start to question where exactly they're coming from. The grip in, the vines piercing the woodwork around you, and drop. Immediately the water rushes up to meet you, and again, nothing but blackness and dim violet lingers on the other side of the slowly moving water. Your body floats there, holding in place.
I'm going to wait a moment, and if nothing happens, I'm going to reach out with the other hand and just let the vines out and let them go where they feel like it. Just gonna let them do their thing, like a web net thing.
You let your hand out, and immediately you let the vines start to hang loose. They push through the water. You can feel them probing, pulsating through, just reaching, sensing for anything. Some move left, some right, some up, some down. They just slowly search, lingering through, and your body just hangs there. The chain clinks. You can not so much hear it, but feel it moving. And then they drag down. Strong enough that you feel your entire arm pull with it.
Fuck.
Your eyes glance down, you can barely see your own elbow.
Yeah, person.
There's nothing. There is nothing.
Let's go. Come on, jump at me. Come on, let's have you. I know you're coming. I've got a
The grin
radar.
snaps through the dark and lashes up towards you immediately, her mouth opening wide and hands reaching up There is no bubbles, there is no air, nothing pulsates from her, just this unerring need.
Just gonna wrap her in a bear hug, and hopefully Kano will feel the thrashing, because we never established any signal.
Nope. Make a grappling check.
Okay, I mean, this is my thing. I got
You
this.
You got this.
This is
And
my
your vibes
thing.
really love her. Your vibes love
Exactly.
her so much.
You have 2 minuses to this. Draw 3 cards and take the worst.
Oh, I don't like this game anymore.
Oh.
Okay.
Come on, strong
grappling's
boy.
off might, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 8,
Okay.
5, 7. So 5 plus 2, 7. Yes.
You throw your hands out, and immediately the hands vanish past you. You watch as they move around your arm. Literally, the fingers dissipating and reforming as she moves past you. Her hands snap up, grabbing the base of your chin, and another wraps around the back of your head, and her head comes immediately to match yours. Your hand rushes out and hits nothing but water. You see her form dissipate under your strike. You try to pull your head back, but despite all of your strength, you cannot move your head.
I mean,
Her eyes lock with yours.
Oh,
Even if you want
fuck.
to open your mouth to scream, to shout,
The worst
when
bit,
water rushes past your teeth.
I can't cheat this. I ain't got anything better. So,
You also can't cheat when you draw a minus card.
other fun fact, I'll note that down.
I need you to make a
What the hell is this?
defense or willpower check. You pick
Okay, well let's
how you
double
choose
check.
to resist.
Willpower
It is difficulty
5.
14.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go with willpower because I've got a 5 on that, which I'm shocked about, to be perfectly frank. Willpower. That'll do it. Because it's a
Total?
plus. 13 plus 5s. Brain work,
And
please.
what suit was it?
I think that was
The correct
That's
one.
crows.
That was Crow's, was it?
I believe so. Yes. Yes, it was.
She holds in place in front of you, and her eyes dig into yours. Her mouth opens, and immediately as they do, you can see these thin purple tendrils of smoke and light leak out, almost mirroring your vines. They just come to greet you.
Hey, hush, you fuck!
You open your mouth to shout, to scream abuse, and immediately begin to swallow gulps of water as those tendrils just click into the side of your face one by one. There's a small stinging sensation with every impact, and they start to pull. The abuse you scream allows you to center yourself even slightly, and they gain no great purchase. You simply thrash and wade in water. And as you do so, make me a 10 centering check, as with every movement you can still hear in the back of your mind, give in. You deserve this. You deserve every ounce of this pain.
Wait. So what does centering go off of again?
Tenacity.
Tenacity. Oh, that's actually fairly decent. 11 total.
You keep pushing the thoughts away. You swear that they are lies. You can't hope you cannot recognize the voice of your own wife screaming in the back of your head. You still take a point of damage.
I get it. You don't like me.
Above the water, Burton. You can see Jack's hand thrashing, twitching against it, but you have no other idea of what could be up below. The water is too dark. The purple violet lights just obscure any instance of what might be below. There's not even movement on the water's surface.
Can I, through this magic that I share with this, can I feel anything? Can I try to reach out? Like,
do a necromancy check. Let's say, as this is, something beyond what a spell would normally allow, this is going to be difficult. We'll say difficulty 14.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not going to do this, but we're going to try. Nope, that's an ace.
You feel nothing.
We're getting them out of the way. We're just getting them out of the way.
If anything, you are convinced that nothing is happening. Clearly, there is nothing down there yet. If he's twitching, he's underwater. He's been underwater for a few moments. Maybe.
Under the water before, right? Like when I went down.
Mm-hmm.
I was under the water before when I went down.
Yeah.
But there was not this weird black purple going on then, correct?
It was just water at that point.
I'm going to look at Canehurst because it's been a minute, right?
It's been a few seconds.
Okay. I think Burton is going to wait and then kind of wait and then just look at this black purple water, and that's not right. I'm going to look at Canehurst, and I assume he's just being a stoic prick.
He's looking at you as you match his gaze, and you can see not so much. It's almost you can feel somewhere in there may be concern.
Oh wow, that's a shocker.
Can kind of shrug one shoulder, wait just a little bit longer, and then just that black purple water is so weird. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just check. I think Burton's gonna drop to their knees and just brace on either side and stick their head under the water.
Okay.
They're already sopping wet.
Yeah.
This might go real bad.
Grip the sides and just plunge your head beneath. Immediately, all sound vacates. There's nothing beyond, and you feel this odd sensation running along the neck where the break happens. It's actually quite pleasant. Energizing, even. Your eyes take a moment to adjust to the dark. And as you bring your gaze around for a few seconds, you can see nothing. And then, just at a distance, seemingly strangely far, considering you know where Jack is, you can see him just holding there in the dark. His arm raised up and out of the water, his left hand clawing at his face. And nothing else there. Just his shadowy form of him holding there.
All right. So Burton has just a moment of like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then that moment of like, it's bad that this is nice. It is really not good that this is nice. I see him clawing at his face. Panic starts to sit in. I need to work on her in those ruins. I don't think... Do I think that... I'm sorry, I'm asking really weird questions. This is a really weird situation.
It's fine.
I've been planning, we grab her, I work on the ruins. It's clear she's trying to get to him, and he's clawing at his face, which is probably trying to take his own face. Do I think if casting a counterspell on him will help break this? Or do I think not so much?
It's hard to really know the answer to that without trying.
Right.
Right. But you do get the impression that there's nothing innately magical going on, at least not in kind of an enchanting or specific spell type of way.
Perfect. then I think seeing that, Burton is going to just whip their head out of the water, look up at Canehurst, just eyes wide and wild, and shout, "Get him out of there!"
He just gives you a single nod, wraps his arm around, and falls. But leave
They
the
like
water.
reach out
Yeah.
and grab, and kind of, they're not helping at all, but that just,
I feel like they are.
yeah, like it's just, I got to do
What
something.
is your might, out of interest?
Oh, it's -2.
I was gonna say, please be -2.
No.
That's
They're-
fucking
they're
brilliant.
It's just going to be like Burton hung onto the chain, just like
Yeah, just
flapping.
I'm just
like, they're probably
imagining you
not
running
even-
your hand along the chain.
Yeah, literally, they're
Okay.
probably like the chain is like moving past their hand more than anything, but they're just like, it's that panic of I gotta do something.
I help.
You grab, and yeah, very, very much so. It's moving faster than you can really do much to help. But
Yeah.
you know, maybe the effect, the attempt is appreciated. Meanwhile,
Or I'm gonna be mocked later.
Florance.
Yep.
You make your way to the back of the cargo deck, towards the stairwell that leads up into the into the cafeteria or into the kitchen. Immediately, as you reach there, the form of the one-legged man that was repeatedly whispering, "I forgive you," has been eviscerated. His body hangs still in the air in no less than 7 pieces. It's droplets of black blood just hanging between the severed portions. None of the strikes seem to carry anything other than efficiency. Limbs have been removed in every single aspect. The head has been cleanly severed, then split in twain, and the torso has been dissected. You move straight past it, up the stairs, taking them 2 at a time until you can hear just this low crackling in the room above. Passing into the kitchen, you glance over and can see this large fire engulfing the form of the figure that was previously in there, enraptured in the vines and purple flowers. A broken oil lamp at its feet, setting the thing ablaze. There is just a low, steady crackle. There's no scream. Just silence. The door that you followed in lies completely open. Again, you can see the broken forms of numerous things just scattered apart on the stairwell. You rush past each and every one of them. Around the corner, the one that had already been thrown and broken apart at the top of the stairs lies again in pieces. It's as if a wild animal had torn its way through the ship down towards you, and, as I say, decimated everything that stood in its way. The corridor beyond you loops and charges up towards the mist-ridden deck. And as you push towards it, that portal into the mists, they just seem to stretch on forever. You step out onto the deck, and again, you see nothing more than the door you've just exited from, and this endless cascade of mist beyond you.
So I think what she'll do is, obviously she knows originally before the mist was there what direction she came from when she was on the biscuit. Canehurst hasn't told her where the Forgiven is, but she's assuming it will be close by. So what she'll do is probably hold on to the helmet as a kind of like a warding device, because it seems to have worked for everything else magical in there, and just slowly, carefully make her way back in the direction of the biscuit.
Make me a track or wilderness. No, we'll say track, actually. Check. This is a relatively simple thing for you normally, so we'll call this a However, you will be working with a minus due to the situation.
Okay, so track 3, which is cunning, which is 2, so 5 plus the flip is 11.
And the second flip. So working with a minus.
Is a 4 plus 5 is 9.
Fine. You have a moment where you get turned around and find yourself back at the same door you entered through.
Mm-hmm.
But taking a second and just quieting your mind, you turn back and start walking in the direction of the biscuit. With every step, the helmet in your hand is this almost warm, comforting feeling. It should be cold metal, but as you grip it, it is very pleasantly warm. You haven't actually looked inside of it. You're just gripping the exterior edges and the kind of fine silver lattice work that runs across its surface. And as you hold on to it, several dozen steps eventually lead you to the side of the ship. You keep one hand along it and follow it until you find a break where you know the ladder that descends into the biscuit sits. Do you descend?
Yes. I have a feeling that it's not going to lead to the biscuit, but I don't really have any other options to go by right now, so down the ladder we go.
Your biscuits.
You wrap your hand around the rope and begin to descend. The mist below engulfs you. And you begin to just drop, step by step, into the unknown. And that is where we're going to take a short break before we come back to see what else is happening below the deck. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so, basically however long it takes for me to get the kettle moving and make another coffee. So we'll be back with you shortly. Hold with us. See you soon. And we're back. Hello, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your break as much as we did. I loaded up on coffee and water and all of that good stuff. So let's see if someone else is doing any better than they were a minute ago in the water as we return back below decks to Jack.
Life is good.
See.
You hold there, Jack. The chain starts to pull away. You can feel
lovely.
You can feel it going taut at your back, starting to pull you. And as it pulls, the hands wrapped around your face grip closer and tighter.
Can I get a grip on now to return the favor? Hug time, right?
And try again for me. Another grappling check, please. Still 2 penalty cards.
Oh no, I don't like that.
As you find the flesh of your face being pulled in one direction, and the rest of you in the other.
Oh.
Freedom.
Okay, well that's a 3, so I can't get much worse. Apparently, it fucking can. let's just see where the ace. Let's just see
That's
where
all the aces now, though, right? We've pulled all 4 aces.
Let's just see if we pull the Joker for shits and giggles. No. 3 total. Oh wait, no, I can't cheat this, can I?
No.
They'll call me the Faceless.
You fling your arms out in some attempt to start grappling at her, to try and pin her in place and drag her with you as your body begins to push up. At this point, your waist starts to pull above your head. Your entire body is being dragged towards the surface where your head remains roughly where it is, your entire body twisting in the water as the small purple spikes of tendrils drive deeper and deeper and wrap around. You can feel them puncture in to the muscle, past into the brittle structure of bones, piercing through the vines that linger beneath your skin, the roots that wrap through your head and into the meat of your mind. It's anyone, flip a card for me.
I'll leave it to you two, so I can't be blamed.
I mean, feels like this is the fate of your character.
If I must.
I'm happy to click the button, but I will not be held responsible.
I ejected poor Florence from the action, so
I will take this burden upon myself.
Okay.
You want low.
It's been. I'll just delete a character sheet real quick.
What was it?
3.
Can you cheat this? Can you cheat this? Can you cheat this?
Can I cheat
Can you
it?
cheat this?
No, it was a 3. It was a 3.
No, it was an 11. Can I cheat it?
Can we cheat it?
Fuck you!
No, because you're not flipping for you.
Oh, fun. Oh.
The tendril, and I also do need to ask, what suit was it?
It was a Tomes. I
This
assume
situation,
that's bad.
that's really bad.
Omega fucked.
Okay.
The tendrils dig in. They pierce through all of you.
Oh, fuck.
In the back of your mind, you can start to feel, see, taste memories. Distant remembrances of what you were before you were Jack. You smell perfume for the last time. You hear her voice for the last time. As you can feel memories being ripped from your mind. The skin around your face begins to pull and separate. You can feel the skin tear. You can smell and sense the blood begin to leak from your head into the water. You take 6 points of damage.
That is a spicy meatball.
Your initiative is reduced by 1. dropping to an 8.
Right.
And finally, above all things, you find yourself saying the words now. Even as water rushes into your mouth to greet you. You deserve this, Jack. Say it. Say it.
Still got something to do.
Oh no, this isn't a comment. Say it. I deserve this.
I still got something I need to do.
The words you try to say, as I deserve this, slips past your lips. Once. Twice. Above the water. Burton, you help Kanehurst, the two of you dragging this train up. Emotional support more than anything else.
You got this, Kanehurst.
Dragging the chain up, and it just seems to keep going and going and going, and you can hear him muttering under his breath, "Not a slight pretense, man," as he keeps pulling. "No more, not to this, not today," and keeps going. The chain just doesn't end. It's now at this point you can see 20, 25, 26, 27 feet of chains being dumped onto the floor. The later chains, no longer metal, but just black stone.
Burton pops up, shrugs off the shotgun, drops the overcoat, kicks off their boots, goes in the water.
Easily done. You dive. Immediately, the weight of the water cascades around you, and you are once again met with that energizing sense. There is an electricity beneath here. Make me an athletics check.
Are you sure about that?
6. This is more to see how well you control your descent than anything else. There are no penalties here. You jumped with the intent of keeping going.
Are you sure
Okay.
this felt like a penalty? I'm feeling pretty
Well.
penaltied.
That's a might of -2 with an athletics of 2, so +0 on a 9.
All is well.
Hey,
You
taking
drop
that
into the
overcoat
water.
off was the right call.
Yeah, it was.
That's what it was.
You drop into the water and immediately feel it break around you. You manage to steady yourself before descending too far, and once again are just met with this oppressive darkness. You flash your eyes around, just trying to get some semblance of an idea of where Jack is, even to having dived in less than a foot away from his exposed arm. There is nothing around you. There was no one around you. You strain your eyes against the darkness. You push yourself just to feel or hear anything. Make me a notice check. Jack
Right.
is talking, but again, talking underwater equates to very little. We're going to call this difficulty 11. Tell you what, no, 10.
Being
So-
generous today.
Evidently.
I have a notice of 2, but that's off of cunning, which is a -3.
Still have 2 extra cards.
That's a 3, but I'm gonna spend a jack, which will get it to
Mhm.
a 10
Nice.
with my -1.
Thank you.
You glance around, your eyes piercing through the darkness to try and find something, anything. You move, you start to swim, just passing your hands through the water and waiting for something to give you some semblance of sense of where you are, let alone where they are. Until eventually that sensation of electricity, that you realize it has a bit of a draw to it. It actually pulls you You follow it. After a few moments of swimming, you've come to the point where you can see something thrashing around in the water as the thrashing goes very slow. And you see the form of Jack hanging, just as one hand that was piercing above the water goes limp and drops in. His body hangs there, chain wrapped around his waist. You can see this figure looming over him, one hand wrapped around his features. This, again, skinless visage looming in, their mouth open as small purple-violet tendrils leak out. The other hand is wrapped around the chain, and you can just see them pulling at it, and the small chinks of it starting to...
I'm gonna try and swim around behind her.
And I have to say the words, which is make me another athletics check. Still difficulty. Yeah, it's going to be difficulty 7 now.
Okay. Come on, cards. That's an 11. -1, so a 10.
Wonderful. You start swinging around.
Where were these pulls last game?
You pass around the back of them, and you can still see them there, the chain starting to break. You get to the point where you can make out the runes on her back, and you can also see the front of Jack's face as just large portions of skin on the right side of his head just start to peel away, exposing nothing beneath it. No muscle, no bone, no blood, just nothing.
Burton goes like hyper focused, not even looking at Jack anymore. Just focuses in on those ruins, and is gonna. Again, I don't know if this is how it works, but narratively, try and get as much of this counterspell prepared as they can before they touch her, so they can just work as fast as they can, and then just kick forward and grab her and try to unravel this spell.
And just from that, you can always make a focus action, which is what this would basically dictate as, which gives you a positive flip on your next skill check of whatever you try to do. You've made both of your movements climbing in, swimming around, so it will be for next turn, but you start to center yourself and prepare.
Yep. That's what I got.
As you kind of hang there in the water, though, and as you're prepare, you start to just feel something building up behind you, around you. Again, this eminent sense of dread. Breathe in. It would be easier. He's lost. Florance is lost. Just breathe in. Make me a centering check at difficulty 10.
All right. Centering is based off tenacity, which I have a +2, and I have a +2 in centering. So that's a 13 + 4. This is what I am good at.
You won't need to make this check again next time. You hold yourself there and just try to push the voice away, the voice you know that is your own, just whispering at you. Outside, Florance.
Yeah. La-da-da-da-da. I'm skipping through fields of butt. Sorry.
Don't worry. You've been climbing for a short time now, long enough that you know that this should have ended. The ship is just there, this endless wall of old metal, and the ladder just very loosely kind of clattering against it in the windless air. There's nothing around you, just silence. this may never lead anywhere. You don't know. And you also get the impression the longer you climb, the more you're going to be testing your own endurance. It may only be a ladder, but try climbing a ladder for 10, 20 minutes at a time without anything securing you in place.
So either I try going back up, but then the same thing could happen there. I'll try going back down. I'm going to take a moment, just like lean on the ladder, rest it. I think I want to inspect. I'm going to inspect Kanehurst's helmet while I'm taking a breather. Just to.
You wrap your left arm around the rope and just kind of hold it in place. The ladder kind of goes taut and you just hang there. Bring the mask up, the helmet mask up in your right hand and just look at it. The front of it is fairly plain. There's no massive engravings or detailing, it's just a fairly plain silver mask with two small slits where the eyes can look out. So narrow that you'd barely be able to look out of it if you were to wear it. Towards the rear of the mask, as you turn it around, you see small lane blades of silvery lines, filigree that just runs across the back and seems to form what appears to be a pair of feminine hands. Not so much gripping, but cradling the helmet. You turn it over and that's all that the inlay is demonstrated. Flipping it as best you can. The point that I was very tempted to ask for a grace check to not drop it.
I just dropped it. Try to explain that one to Kate.
Sorry. So I was having a look at the side of the ladder. And...
You turn it over, and on the inside, you see a kind of long red piece of velvet cloth that runs along the interior, along the where the nose would be depressed into, over where the mouth is, almost to the point where as you look at it, you realize that it might actually be suffocatingly close to where. And then, just at the helm, quite literally the head of the helm, the very, very top, you see a small series of 6 sharp spikes.
Will I know what these are from my wardening time, or?
Make me this. Say either artificing or history, both of which are intellect-based checks, or artifacting, some variation of that word.
I'm neither good at making stuff or reading, so intellect, I have 1 intellect.
It's a difficulty 8 check.
Okie pokey. Right, let's...
It's fairly routine knowledge, but only if you've ever really paid attention to the church in any great degree.
I don't pay attention in church, no. That's a 3 + 1 is 4, so I have no idea what the spikes are.
Would you like to cheat?
Yes. What difficulty did you say it was? 8.
So at least a 7.
Oh, at least a 7. Yes, because I'm a 1. Yeah, I have a 7. Here it is.
Perfect.
It's Iron Man.
Thank you, Iron Man. Be glad your helmet isn't built like this. The spikes are what is quietly referred to as penitent spikes, used to inflict small but continuous amounts of pain to the wearer. Normally worn by a branch of the church, quite literally known as the penitents, members of the Inquisition who were brought in after committing some form of great atrocity, something that they need to feel forgiveness for, like flagellation of the self. These spikes, however, are longer than one would normally anticipate these to be. They are, as I said, meant to be constant small reminders of a past misdeed. These are enough to cause considerable and constant pain. They are, each and every one of them, slick with Canehurst's blood. Other than that, though, nothing else.
Cool. I'm not going to put it on. I was considering wearing it, but I've changed my mind now.
I'd give it a go if I survived this.
You get the impression
Yeah, but
it
you
could
got a rocky
be
skull.
Yeah, natural advantage.
deeply painful, incredibly unpleasant, but wearable, tolerable for at least a short period of time, but for any great length, and considering that almost every time, or even walking down to reach you, would have taken at least 5-10 minutes, plus however long he may have been wearing it beforehand. Make a scrutiny check for me.
Okay.
This is going to be difficult, as this is going to be trying to glean an insight on the man who might wear such a thing.
Ooh, okay.
This is going to be 15.
15, okay. I've got scrutiny 2, which is cunning, which is 2. That makes 4.
Hit that. Fled them bones.
4, oh, I've lost the. Sorry, 4 plus 9 is 13.
Ah!
So okay, can I cheat it? I've got I've got a 10. There, if you don't believe me.
Law,
Yeah, I believe you.
law.
Exactly. I was like, I'm doing this for the law. I'm doing it for the
For
law.
the law.
Also, while I'm doing this, because you said there's a ladder and a rope, can I kind of? Oh no, because
It
I'm
was
holding
kind of the rope. It's a rope ladder.
Oh, it's
so
a
you
rope
kind of-
ladder, right?
yeah.
I thought there was a ladder and a rope. I was like, I'll just
No.
hitch myself up and then I can just abseil my way down.
No, it's a rope ladder.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
There is a rope and a ladder,
Yeah.
however.
No, one thing. Okay.
One or the other.
Combined.
Are these powers combined?
Yeah.
The immediate thought you have, the fairly obvious one, is that whomever is wearing this has a deep-seated issue. Some distinct and obvious level of self-loathing. But the more you look at it, the more you can see wells of dry and then scrubbed clean blood. As if this item is deeply, deeply cared for.
Mhm.
Regularly cleaned, maintained, and then replaced. The way that the fabric is molded in the inside gives the demonstration of someone who very rarely takes it off. You feel almost a love for it. As if whomever owns it is thankful for its existence. That's about what you can glean just from looking it over. You also, as just a comment to the self, realize exactly what the helmet is. This is a relic of the martyr. An item that existed before the founding of Chalice back in the days of the giants. It may even have been worn by the martyr herself.
Oh.
You are holding precariously in these mists an item of incredible religious significance. And the fact that he has just handed it to you is either a demonstration of intense trust or an unfathomable stupidity.
Probably the former. Sorry, let me just finish this note very quickly. So, I'm on a rope ladder. I've only got one hand to climb with. I'm going to get tired. I'm going to be there for a while. To save my arms, knowing all I know about the thing, and I do not want to drop it or lose it, I don't have a bag to put it in, so I'm going to put it in the most secure place I can think of. I'm going to pop it on my head. If you can pop such a relic of the martyr on one's head. But yes, that's
Just
where
quickly.
it's going.
Like a Sunday hat.
Yeah.
with one hand, you almost mimic the way in which Kanehurst removed it. You wrap your hand around its helm and just very slowly press it over your arm. It passes over the top of your skull and parts your hair. As it reaches the point where you can see the eye slits starting to come level with yours, you feel the spikes. And you do have a moment where you can feel you're about to drive them into your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make a willpower check just to do this. It's going to be difficulty. It's going to be difficulty 9 as you're kind of psyching yourself up for it.
Yep. Willpower. Willpower. I have no willpower.
I know the feeling.
Let's hope the cards are nice to me. That's a 2.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with you not doing that because they're still slick with Kanehurst's blood. You don't want. That's just not.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
It's not
Bad
it's not
hygiene.
it's not
Hygiene.
sanitary.
Okay. Fine.
I work in a
fine.
hospital. We don't do that.
Okay. I might have got special powers. You don't know. Could have been like Spider-Man.
In fairness, as you stop and kind of start trying to pull it off, you become aware, just as you glance down, that the mists have parted slightly. You can actually see where the ladder leads.
Oh.
As you pull the helmet off and your eyes pass by the slits, however, everything mists again below you. You do have the unfortunate downside of knowing, should you want to keep it on so you can see and still climb, you're going to need to wear it.
Yeah. Okay.
You get to wear the hat.
I got to wear the hat.
Put on the special hat.
I gotta put on the special hat.
Put on your party hat.
Do I need to make another willpower check, or am I just like, no, we're doing this?
I am going to need another willpower check, but you can get a bonus card to it.
Thank you.
Come on.
Difficulty 9 again?
Still good. Yeah. Don't know where I was going with that. So.
I mean, I had a warm up, so surely. But I rolled. I flipped an 11, so we're Gucci. We're good.
With a grimace, you push. Immediately I won't lie, I was hoping you were going to say that you took it off and cleaned it first, so we'll deal with this problem later. You drive the helmet on and feel them pierce into your scalp. The hair parts out of the way and 6 independent spikes drive into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You feel them scrape along the skull and you take 2 points of damage just by putting it on. It is deeply, deeply painful. You cannot stop but let out a curse of pain as you feel the blood start to loose from the impact, the word escapes me, from the impact sites and start to flood through your hair. You can feel it running along your skin, and for a moment you consider if the lining of this helmet was always the colour it is now. However, with it on, you glance down, and less than a few feet away from you, hanging there in place, you can see the biscuit. Turning behind you, you can see just loose, kind of bobbing in the water beside it, the small warship of Kanehurst's, the Forgiven. Aboard, you can make out the figures, even through the kind of loosened mist now, you can make out Fossell stood on a gangplank between the two, and a significant number of kind of cloaked in the mist figures beyond. You can hear voices, but not much in the way of actually understanding what they're saying.
So I'm just gonna lower myself down to the deck of the biscuit, and then not once I know that I'm like on well, not solid ground because it's a boat, but once I'm there, I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to take the helmet off again because obviously it's painful. I don't want to wear it for that long. I just need to get to where I'm going.
You place your feet on the deck, and as you do so, you glance across and realize that even as you land with significant sound, no one reacts to your arrival.
Okay.
You can see them, and then as you pull the helmet clean and just hear this soft, wet pop,
Yeah.
and draw it over your head, the blood dripping dripping freely from the sides of the helmet onto the deck and onto your own scalp, across your shoulder. The mists immediately close back in, and you find yourself stood on the deck of the ship, very, very alone.
Okay.
Inside the other ship.
Okay.
That was such a nice little distraction.
I mean, to be fair, I can just keep walking forever and my head will heal. It'll be fine.
It was just minorly a bit odd and peculiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to wear the fancy hat.
Hello.
You are held there still.
Hi.
The chain around you is being removed. You are lingering in the water now, as if afloat on an endless ocean.
Oh, fuck.
You're looking up. You can see her eyes bleeding into yours. You can feel every piece of agony and just carved onto her form. You can feel every single cut as her face was carefully, lovingly removed. Every slice across her back as the artist responsible performed their work. You can feel all of that just on you as the same runes begin to appear on your skin. Beneath your clothing, upon your back, you can just feel every slice. And you still whisper the words. The water now readily charging down your throat and into your lungs. I deserve this. What do you do? As you can feel the last fleeting portions of your mind disappearing. Sit.
I don't know what I can do in this situation.
See Burton just behind her? Or is it just...
What
Just
can
her.
I see?
All you can see is her. She is everything.
No, my boy is.
Who?
Sam.
Who?
Sam.
The name means nothing to you. The words sound alien.
Bullshit. Oh, I did not come this far just to die by some weird faceless fish. What fucking happening? I just want to.
Do you let go?
No, not a fucking chance in hell. I got shit I need to do.
Then make me a centering check at difficulty 12.
And not come this far to die by some faceless fuck. That would not be classy. I don't have centering. I don't know why I'm looking there. What is it? Tenacity.
Tenacity.
Fuck yeah, let's go. We still rolling. We still rolling. That's 11.
Total of
Total
13?
of 11. No, total of 11.
So not the 12 I asked for them.
I thought you said 10.
I definitely said 12. It was 10 last time, and then you
That's
failed.
a bastard. Okay, well, I'm going to use one of my reflits that I have in my back pocket from Sif Santa.
No, that was you had an extra card. 2 extra cards to pull. You should have 5.
Well, I don't.
Minus any you've already
So
used.
I will pull 2 extra cards. Those don't do shit for me. That's a shame.
Then unfortunately,
Guess I die.
you deserve this. You know you do.
It's a shame.
Everything you've done, everything you were, none of it matters anymore, Jack, John, whoever. All you are is all you are in this moment. As the skin of your face continues to be pulled apart, and as it does so, you can see her face slowly coming back into being. What was once pallid, torn muscle. You see freckles. Kind, loving eyes. And even as you feel the agony, you can just see in them, thank you. Thank you for this. Can you flip me a card, please? You want low.
You know what's gonna be? It's probably gonna be like the
Red Joker.
Jack or something.
Yeah, Red Joker.
Black.
The Black Joker.
Yeah.
Yay! It turned up when we actually wanted it to.
Like I said, I got things I need to do.
Let me
Yeah.
at her.
In her hand, the chain breaks. You watch it slowly float away in the water and disappear beyond view. Her full features, barring a small slit of skin towards the upper right, once again holds in place, and you can feel nothingness overwhelming you, and feel how much she needs this release. And as you feel the agony running across your own features, part of you knows it's better that it's you. And as you begin to let go, the water is disturbed. A figure moves in from behind, and you watch the form of Burton burst from the darkness, land on the back of this poor, innocent victim. Burton's eyes glow purple, glow violet with power. Burton, make a counterspell check with 2 additional flips. You are looking to beat a 15.
Oh,
So,
no biggie.
My counterspell is 3, and my tenacity is 5. So I need an 8.
Gods.
That's a 2. Let's just get that one out of the way.
2 additional flips. That's fine. That's the warm up.
That's a 10.
That's what we need.
Now, I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
According to the counterspell, to
Mhm.
break enchantment, and you said this would be closer, I have to pull a ram.
Yep.
And that 10 is a ram.
Okay. You do get 1 additional flip. You do get to pick which one.
Yeah.
So if you can get better.
Yeah, nope, that's
No,
nope,
no, what's it?
we got that 10.
Yeah, take the 10 around. Take the
I
10.
just got lightheaded with relief, y'all. Like it actually just hit.
Look, when I say I'm too busy to die, I'm too busy to die.
Got you,
I'm a
partner.
busy man.
I got things to do.
And Burton just comes in, does their best to unleash this magic, and no one can hear it because hearing underwater doesn't work, but bubbles do leave their mouth as they just mutter, "I'm sorry," and break this enchantment.
You slam your hand into the middle of the rooms, this circle of torn, life-starved flesh, and send a pulse of power running out into them. There is an instance as you watch that light that's been brimming out from her form flicker, and then a instant passes where you feel the water around you as if hit by a shockwave before pulling back on itself. The pressure of the water shifts and you can feel it driving into you in every single direction. Jack, your eyes snap open. You have this last distinct feeling of acceptance fade as you see Sam's face in your memories, just hidden behind this murky mist of oblivion. You look up, you see Burton there, her eyes still brimming with power. Excuse me. And again, this shockwave followed by this pressure on you. Your eyes glance to Burton. They have a moment to do something, anything you can think of between the two of you. You have a single action each.
Where's the hatch? Am I still like, I know my hand let go, but am I still above it?
You have no idea.
Ah, brilliant.
Do I have an idea?
You've been pulling around in the darkness for too long now to have any true semblance.
The chain broke, but the end that's still attached, is that still nearby?
Make a notice check. As he says the right thing.
Yay!
It's going to be difficulty 9.
Yay! I think none of the party members have. What's it based off of?
Cunning.
Cunning. Yay!
You're
Got
gonna
none
be
of
better
that.
at this than me.
Got none of that. Let's go.
Hey, I got a
That's
-3 to cunning.
That's an 8.
You dig around in the darkness, just hoping for anything. You pass up for a moment, you feel a chain, you grab it, and it just moves in the water with you, as it's just a few loose links. Your eyes fall apart. They take in Burton just holding in the water. You see, just between the two of you, this now strangely small form of the woman just curled into herself. This shock mane of light ginger hair pulling in the water, and that violet light no longer there, and yet her entire body seems to just glow in the darkness.
Using that light, can I see the fucking chain? It's light! You said it's light, motherfucker!
Burton is knowing the shockwave is coming. She's gonna kick forward and grab onto Jack. So that if we get blasted, at least we're not separate directions.
That's a point.
You launch forward, Jack. You feel their arms wrap around you as the two of you tumble through the water. You get a brief glance back as you see the form of this woman twist, and you see her face.
I want to
intact.
Turn to my I want to turn so I absorb the blast rather than Burton. I want to act as a buffer for Burton. Because I've got more stone and less squishy. I know I'm just a squishy.
You turn your back to the figure, and as I say, Burton, your eyes fall upon the form of the woman. You see her face, young, fairly pretty, There is relief on her fully formed face. Peace. And as your eyes land on hers for only a second, her mouth begins to mouth the instance of thank you. As the shockwave comes, her body blossoms into a pallid violet light, and it just rushes out to meet you. You are blinded by it as it hits Jack, and the two of you are flung away. Jack, I'm going to ask you to flip this.
Okay.
Again, one card,
Okay.
and I tell you, this is either 3, 6, or 9 damage, depending on
Okay.
how high the card.
I can survive one of these.
Okay, it was almost like you tried to distract them there. It's like, look at Kitty.
Cat. That's
Like,
a
don't
nine of
try and distract
nine
the
of
cat.
rams. Oh wait,
That's a 6.
it's a 6 of rams. I can count. Why is that
I'm
upside down
dis-
for me?
I am dyslexic, and you are just really making me question reality.
Same. Joy,
Just like,
we already established this club. It's great. Don't worry, I'm having a great time. I'm frazzled. Oh,
6
what's
at
go-
very least is apt, as you take 6 points of damage.
Ugh, I think that's dead. I think that's
Burton.
0.
You take 3.
That is yeah, that's -1.
You are flung away and cascade through the dark. The water tumbles around you, and you can both smell the salt in it, feel the pressure as it pushes away endlessly into this abyss that lingers beyond. Jack, you get the sensation of great bodies moving in the water around you. Writhing torrents of water pushed around by things you could never see. And as unconsciousness wraps around you and embraces you as a friend, can you make a single card flip and add 1 to it, please?
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Does defense lower the damage or
No,
reduce
no.
it? No. Okay. I would be
We don't worry about defense right
Off,
now.
off chance, but I'd be remiss if I.
And again, if this is BS, that's fine. And I know that my
No.
magic is still weird. But knowing the shockwave is coming and seeing that he was pretty beat up, there's no way I could cast heal.
Unfortunately, as you had your one action before it hit, and that was
That's
to go
fair,
over
that's-
to him.
Totally
Yeah.
fair.
I wouldn't have turned down a top off. I won't deny it.
What's it going to be?
Oh, let's flip a card and find out. A 10 of masks.
1.
Okay.
That's 1.
Get it.
11. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Oh, lovely. That's fine. I didn't need to know. We can put a pin in that. Damn it! This means Billy wins.
You continue to hang in the water. For yourself, Burton, you know as you watch the light in Jack's eyes fade and flicker into unconsciousness. The mouth hanging open and water passing in and out freely. There's no air bubbles left as he begins to suffocate. As you roll, you become grimly aware yourself that you can't hold your breath forever, and there seems to be no end to this. And it's that grim reality that begins to settle in as you continue to just push through the water. What thoughts are going through your head?
Just Burton tried so hard to keep Jack alive, to get answers, yeah, but also it was their job to get him out alive. And Jack turned and took that damage. And so there's just so much guilt running through them. And a little bit more guilt as they're hanging here. How does my magic feel here and now?
For a while, that energizing effect was still there, but as you start to kind of search for that information, you realize that's faded. It's just as it always was now. The pressure of the water is still pushing around you, but it feels lessened somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what I have.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what options I have. And they're not good. Yeah, I think they're gonna look at Jack one more time and just give him that shake. Just that one last come on try.
Make
And
me
if nothing
a
happens-
doctor's check. Or just doctor intellect if you don't have it. Be difficulty 8.
I don't suppose. Because I did grow up on the farm. I don't got a lot of doctoring in me, but I do have husbandry.
I'll allow you to use husbandry, but you will take a minus to the check. So you draw 2, pick your lowest, and you can't cheat it.
Okay. I'm gonna do doctoring because at least I can. That did not flip. Okay.
That's blank. Okay.
Yeah, that was you all saw that too. I was like, that's not.
Yeah, that was
right.
just
I mean,
blank for a minute.
if it's blank, you can pick whatever number you want to go on.
That's
right?
the
true.
rules, right?
That's true. That red Joker. Red Joker.
Yep, yep.
It's a no
Yours.
from me, Cotton.
Of yours, red Joker.
That was a 9 with a -1, so that's an 8.
What I asked for.
Surprising.
His eyes open,
Fucking up.
which is a good and bad thing. Your consciousness returns to you, Jack, for a moment. Your body is in deep pain. You have picked up deep tissue damage from the shockwave.
That'll be fine.
For the note, from this point onwards, anytime you suffer critical damage, you're adding an additional +2 to any card flip you make, which basically the higher the number, the worse the result. Your consciousness returns to you. You're fully aware of where you are. You're also fully aware that you are drowning.
Fuck. Grappling hook vines go.
You fling an arm out and just try to push a volley of vines into the water, and immediately they charge out and just find nothing. You just hold there, panic starting to set in. You glance down, you see Burton. They're hanging close to you, having just smacked you in the face, basically.
Cheers.
As we know, that's how all doctoring works.
I'm quite proficient.
At least on the farm where I'm from, yeah.
I'm being dead.
You either give him a shot of whiskey or you slap him in the face. One of the two is gonna work.
Both. Fuck you, Billy. I'm still in the running. Yeah.
And you hang there staring at them. They stare at you. And you have a connecting moment
Fuck.
as the damning truth falls on both of you that the likelihood is you're going to die here.
He doesn't look like he's. Does he look like he's bleeding out? Does he look like I need to?
No. He is
Great.
still on -1 health, technically. quickly, but he is awake.
I'm gonna go take a real long nap after this.
Yeah. So there's a thing I want to do, but it's going to take me a second to figure out exactly. There's a thing I can't do. Okay.
Whilst you're figuring it out, we'll go back outside.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Florance.
Aha!
Mm-hmm.
The helmet tucked under your arm, you look out across the deck again, just trying to pick out where the mist may lead you. However, you take a couple of steps into it, and there is a sudden blast. A huge wave crashes against your ship, nearly sending you sprawling. It runs alongside, crashes over past the biscuit and straight into the Forgiven. You watch the figures on the gangplank struggle to not fall into the water as it hits. The lights on the lanterns, a couple of them are thrown loose from the hooks that they sit upon. And as you steady yourself and start to look around, the mists around you begin to just lapse and fade. The air becomes clearer, and you can see the edge of the ship.
Yay!
You can see Sergeant Vassell standing on the gangplank, steadying himself. You can see 4 inquisitorial figures stood on the far side. A woman dressed in red, a fairly older man, stood at the edge of the gangplank looking out. A tall, balding man with a rather elaborate mustache behind him, and finally a small, slight man at the back. There are a few crew members dotted around the ship on both, but you can see them, you can hear them. Behind them, the internal ocean stretches out. You can make out the spire of Faith far in the distance, even from here. And as you turn back, you can see the ship behind you. Just there. As plain as any other cargo vessel ever.
Nothing weird or freakish about it.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Just a ship.
So Florance is going to be like, they did it. They managed it. And then, because she doesn't know that they're both in the water, does she?
You have no idea.
I have no idea, no. So I will probably, I'm going to head over to Forsell, or Forsell, or whatever his name is, that guy. That guy whose name I should know by now.
Forsell.
Forsell, and yeah. And speak to him to see how he's bearing up.
You rush over to him. As I say, he steadies himself on the gangplank, turns back as he hears your footsteps charging across. And he immediately, you see this look of worry and panic be lifted from his features as he sees you. Warden! Thank the martyr. And he takes a couple of steps forward, stops at the edge, and just kind of breaks into a very disciplined salute.
That's okay.
Behind him, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna helmet in one hand. I'm just gonna give him a hug because that's obviously what the man was after.
He kind of stands there. You feel him trying to hold on to his discipline, and he just lets one hand float and places his left hand just on your back. You feel thanks pass through him and relief. At his back, you can see the 4 Inquisitors watching you very carefully. 3 of them turn to one another and whisper to each other. The man at the front, the older of the 4, just takes a few steps across. Warden.
Sir?
Where is the Justicar?
He remained on the boat. He sent me with his helmet. She's just going to hold it here-ish. He sent me off with this and told me to bring it here.
Blessings upon you, he says, and just kind of moves forward and very reverently takes it from you.
Okay. I'm just going to back away to the biscuit because I don't really want to be on that ship.
You take a step back onto the biscuit as that man turns to the other three. Go to Canehurst, ensure all is well. The three of them nod and just briskly march across, heading for the ladder and start to clamber up onto the ship. As they do so, Vassell turns to you. What of your colleague with Jack?
I've not
What of my
seen
crew?
your crew. I haven't seen my colleagues also. I haven't seen them. They were in the cargo hold, and that's where Burton told me to leave them. Well, that's the story of those two. Your crew, I'm afraid, are no longer with us. I'm afraid something very horrible happened on that boat. Turned humans into some strange, mad, flesh-eating monsters capable of only repeating one word over and over, and I've never seen anything like it.
Well, let's focus on the task at hand for the moment and mourn when we have time. We should follow them, he says, gesturing to the Inquisitors.
Very well.
He turns to the remaining crew on the ship who have kind of overheard the discussion. Stay aboard. Be safe. As you begin to make your way onto the vessel, are you following with him?
I will go with
where
him.
you are.
Yes, I know, I'm going. And I the last thing I want is to be back on that ship, but I have a very strong feeling that I need to protect this man. I'm also curious to see what Canehurst is up to, so now that I've done what he's told me to do, I feel like I'm free to go about my business.
You follow them onto the ship and clamber back up. The climb is brisk, not even a few seconds, before you find yourself once again on the top deck. Glass still litters the surface. The windows in every direction have still been smashed out. And lying on the deck, maybe 10 feet across, lifeless and still, you see Private Kappendorf, one of the three that followed you on board. He is perfectly intact, as if nothing could ever happen to him. His eyes stare up into the sky, empty. There's a frost around his face. But other than that, he looks normal. The Inquisitors are already just kind of stopping at the top. One of them glances back to you, the one with the impressive mustache. Below deck, you said?
Yeah, cargo hold. The cargo hold. Where I left him.
Many thanks, he says with a slight bow, and they make their way past into the kind of doorway that leads below deck.
Is Lucas still about?
You quickly look around, and there is no sign of him. Do you want to just run to the back of the ship where you saw he was kind of heading, if you remember the rope that led to a small ship?
Yeah, I just want to see if he's about.
You make your way to the back of the ship, and all you find waiting for you is a small knot that's been cut. Make me a notice check at difficulty 4.
Notice 3, which is cunning. 5. Well, I have 5. Do you still want me to flip the cards?
You've got the Black Joker out of the way, but hey, let's see how well you
Yeah,
do.
see how well. 5. That's a 12.
That's a pretty good.
That's
noticing.
17. I'm really good at noticing stuff.
You know exactly
Double
which
crit.
direction.
Oh,
you're in.
good.
You pass your eyes across the water, and it doesn't take you too long to pick out, in the distance, a small, yellow panelled ship. About the right size for one man, and maybe a small amount of cargo, heading briskly away from this vessel. You do a quick mental check on the direction he might be heading, and determine if he is heading at least close to, if not directly to, Morristown, your own destination.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bit of a lead on you, but the ship is smaller, won't be as fast as yours. You may still be able to catch up to him, or perhaps beat him there, or get there at roughly the same time.
Okay. I don't see anything else in or on the water, like 2 people floating around down there.
As you look out
that's a bit-
over the other side, you do see 2 bodies floating in the water, bobbing along. One of their arms has been removed.
But it's not my companions.
It's Private Egbert, Private Lelaire, both floating on the water. Speaking of floating in the water, before any other checks, before anything else that you might do, you have been below water for a while. I am going to have to ask, I say this, it may be slightly past it for Jack, but for Burton, I need you to do a toughness check to continue to hold your breath and do anything else.
That's.
Resilience if you don't have it,
Mm-hmm.
and at this point it's going to be difficulty 9, challenging.
All right. So that's with a +4, 2 tenacity, 2 toughness.
Come on.
Skinny, but I'm tough.
One of us has got to make it out of this.
That's only an 8. What did you say the target was?
9.
Oh!
I'm burning a 6.
Good.
With a
Yes!
+4,
Good!
that's a 10.
You haven't
Ah!
got long. You know you don't have long. Maybe 30 seconds less. But you can cling to it for the moment.
Just get up. Just get up there.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I've been spending this whole last scene. I'm going to have to go rewatch it because I have not paid enough attention because I've been crawling through the bestiary on this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very small. And while there is a jackalope, there is no underwater creature.
What?
It's weird. Yeah.
Right.
Pain. Pain.
Part of my
Stupid.
enchantment magic is shapeshift.
Okay.
And I would very much like to shapeshift into a fish or a water snake or something. I don't care if it has crap stats. That's not the point right
All
now.
of the above is fine.
Blue whale.
You can quite happily just shift
kraken.
yourself into a fairly common Chalicean fish, the silverfish. It's about the arm's length,
Oh.
quite big, bulky, pointy little teeth.
So the casting for this spell, which I'm happy to do, is it's a 10 plus my lowest stat minus the other creature's highest stat. I would love to do. I have a 9. I don't care about suits anymore.
Yeah.
So
Let's say the highest.
I will flip it, or I will happily just to say I can do it. Burn the card.
We will say just burn the card in this
Okay.
respect.
It is
You will-
actually the correct suit, believe it or not.
Oh,
No, I
nice.
don't need
That
it
gives
anymore.
even more credence to it.
I now have when Burton leveled up, they took, I forget what it's called. They took
Fish.
transmutative comprehension. So
Mhm.
any card they draw to cast magic is now a Ram's.
Nice. Very nice.
And so
I
yeah,
need that.
Burton does if you've been underwater, you feel that Like, and it's like, oh no, this is bad, and kind of meets Jack's eyes. And kind of tries with their eyes to say, follow me, but that doesn't do much good. And then Jack, suddenly you're holding onto a fish.
I haven't got any breath to hold. The fuck?
Yep. And kind of like swims up, does a little spin in front of your face. And I'm assuming as a fish, I have a decent idea of what's up. But either way, I'm going to like dart around a little bit and try and get, because I'm fine breathing now. But I gotta get Jack up.
Thrash around for a few moments as Jack tries to kind of get an idea of what to do, and you gain a bit of an idea of what's moving around you.
Jack had his face ripped off, lost his memories, got it all back, got blown away, died, came back, and then is holding a fish.
Yeah.
He's
having a day.
So much therapy. So much therapy.
Fish.
So much therapy.
Fish is like bloop bloop bloop.
You
I should have
feel
died.
the water. You can feel the water shifting around you, and you realise that the pressure you're feeling is distinctly descending, as if the water level is dropping around you.
I turn to tell, realize I can't.
I don't speak fish.
Jack,
Today is not a good day.
I need you to make a toughness check.
Great.
Difficulty 14. Seeing as you're already drowning.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't knock any of that. It's toughness.
Well, in
No,
beast
toughness.
form, I use the B stat, so
You'll be fine. We'll worry about that.
Toughness goes off of might, I'm assuming.
Off of resilience.
resilience.
Still +2 anyway. Okay.
Come on.
Oh my god, that is. I mean, I could cheat it, but it doesn't do any. It doesn't get me over it. That's it's a 7 total. That don't do shit.
Once again, even with your new aquatic form, Burton, you turn back after realizing that the water is receding. Where? You don't know, but it is receding. You turn back to look for Jack, and you see him as, once again, his eyes close, and he begins to drop, descending into this endless, approaching abyss.
Do I have an idea?
We're going to do...
Okay.
No, go on.
Do I have an idea of how close we are to the surface? Like, can I figure that out? No?
It's getting closer by the second, but you don't know exactly how far. As we're going to move into a bit of a close, you begin to swim down. You're taking, as I mentioned, the slightly pointed teeth of the silverfish and just grabbing at his clothes, trying to gain purchase on him just to hold him up. The water itself not lending itself to that motion. The strength of the fish, although notable, is not enough to hold up the stone dead weight that is Jack. You can almost feel his lungs filling with water. The darkness slowly wraps around him, spreading again up his legs, past his hips, and slowly but inevitably consuming him. The water around you breaks. You feel an impact. And as you grip upon him with your pointed, jagged teeth, a pale, calloused hand pushes through the water beside you. Your eye flicks to one side as you see Canehurst's form in the water next to you, grabbing hold of Jack and pushing back against the water. There is a momentary glance and look of confusion suddenly waylaid as he sees you, as he begins to just push up against the water, trying to drag Jack towards the surface.
Swimming circles around his head, encouraging me.
I'm going to have to ask, and normally this isn't a thing,
Oh my god.
but I wouldn't feel right doing anything else. As I ask Lynn
Oh, yeah.
to flip an athletics check for Canehurst.
Oh, Lord.
He is adding
Yep.
9 to his check.
This man is bullshit,
Yeah.
but I respect it in this case.
So Canehurst is adding 9. Okay. Did you say there was a difficulty?
There is a difficulty of 12.
12, because Jack
Okay.
be chonk.
I do be chonk.
I was going to make it
Um,
higher, but he has encouraging fish.
Yeah.
Well,
All important encouragement
fish will
fish.
also, if
Praise be
need
encouraging fish.
take a very deep fishy breath and then flip back. Oh, no need.
Red Joker!
How do we get this deck every game?
Inside the ship.
One moment, I'm going to go have an existential crisis.
Inside the ship, Florance,
Mhm.
you have followed the Inquisitors down into the depths of the vessel. You have passed by the ruined, devastated corpses of the previous crew and Protectorate officers that were on board.
Mhm.
You did your best to look past them as you rushed into the cargo hold, down past the balance chamber, towards it at the end of the room as you run alongside the Inquisitors, hearing the thrashing of water and the sounds of deep, heavy breaths. You sprint along as you watch Canehurst and Burton burst free from the water.
Let's be fair. You see a fish burst
Yeah.
from the water.
Yeah.
And then partway through. Yep.
Reforming into Burton as they pull themselves up. Canehurst dragging his form over.
Mhm.
You can see where he's left his heavy armor and robes just on the side.
Mhm.
And for a moment, your heart beats in your throat as you watch him turn back, plunge his hands back in, and drag Jack's unconscious form up
Mhm.
free of the black depths and discard him onto the deck. There isn't a moment that passes before the red-dressed female Inquisitor rushes across and
Mhm.
immediately starts to perform CPR on Jack,
Oh.
trying their damnedest to clear his airways. And as
And-
they begin to work... Sorry, go on.
Burton, Burton lands as a fish, turns into a human, doesn't get up, is just like prone, kind of rolls over and slaps a hand on Jack and fails with 5, gonna burn the 7, cast a heal.
That's my guy. Anna, that's what we'd like to see. Thank you.
Living target heals 1, 2, or 3 damage.
Am I living?
Flip the card.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's a 12.
That's free.
I'm so 2, because I was on -1.
Your eyes snap open once again, and you splurt out a lung full of water.
Directly
just-
in the Inquisitor's face, right?
Yeah.
Please.
Kind of. The fairly young woman who is attending to you wipes off this combination of saliva and water as they turn away from you, and you breathe in deep, greedy gulps of air. Canehurst beside you, resting on his knees, doing much the same. And you glance over to see Burton, their hand still on your chest, as small emanates of power continue to fall back into their form. Across the room, you can see Florance and For Sale, and 3 other figures you don't really recognize. And a sudden, relieved silence encompasses the room as the water drains from the ballast hold and leaves nothing but the markless, quiet body of a young woman below, at peace. And that is where we will end the session for this evening.
I was also going to say, I know that Burton's like lying on the deck collapsed and sort of a bit sad, but after she's finished like healing Jack, like Florance is just going to run over to her, like grab her by the upper arms and then just pull her up into her, like pull them up into a hug. And maybe cry
Burton,
a bit, but
Burton like looks at Canehurst, tries to like mouth a thank you, but gets jerked up and is like, I feel like shit.
You look it, but you're alive. I'm so worried.
Glances over at Jack. Same. Burton doesn't understand it's not the same, but it's like, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Thank you once again, one and all, for tuning in and saying hello and hopefully enjoying this, what we hope to have been pulse-pounding adventure.
How did we all live?
Yeah.
By the skin of your teeth.
Fuck you, Billy. I'm still in the running.
And as we prepare to say goodnight for the next 2 weeks, back again, as always, in 3 weeks to continue this particular journey, but back in 2 weeks to see how the other group is doing. We do once more a run around the house to say hello and goodbye and all that good stuff. And we'll start in the opposite way to which we began, with Kay.
Hey, all. I'm Kay. Some stuff actually worked out this time, unlike last time. You can find me most of the time over at Chaotic Wholesome Presents. I'm doing Pokemon tomorrow. Please, if you are able, come by Friday. We are streaming The Expanse by Telltale Games. It's our first sponsored stream, so that would be super, super appreciated.
Oh, hell yeah.
Doing stuff I can't talk about, a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but come by every Tuesday for the Chaotic Wholesome Table Talk Show, where we talk all things TTRPGs, and it's a good time.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing what these things you can't talk about are.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a
Super secret.
sucker for a mystery, but yeah, definitely that.
No. Or death.
That NDA
Yeah.
Unfinished Project Life.
Ooh, gotta love it.
Yikes.
Also,
Lynn?
I'm really glad because my next cheat would not have helped me.
Ooh.
Howard.
Lynn, who are you? Where are you? Etc.
Hello, I'm Lynn. I'm right here in this creepy town. You can find me on Twitch. I have been Pantoufles Art in chat. I do art, unsurprisingly. I draw everything from weird dystopian cyberpunk scenes to pretty watercolor flowers. So, you know, if you're down for that and a general chill time, I tend to go live about 10 a.m. With BST still, aren't we? Yes, 10 a.m. BST. Most days of the week. So yeah, if you want like a nice relaxing come down from whatever the hell this is, feel free to come and join.
No more
Also,
water.
all cards.
Oh yeah, I did the cards. I drew the cards.
Look
the
how
cards
awesome
that
they
we've
are.
been drawing and cursing out and celebrating over. I drew them.
It's
With my
all
hands.
Lynn's fault. Is
Thank-
basically
thank
what
you
we
for that,
my
Red
fault.
Joker.
If there's a bad flip, it's me.
If it's a good
Could've
flip,
just-
it's the person who flipped it.
Yeah, and
You
if
could
it's a
have just
blank
not
card,
done the Black Joker.
You could have just
that's
thrown in a
everyone's
random.
favorite though.
Could have just thrown in a random 25. That's all I'm saying.
Really tempted to draw 25 now.
Just
So-
one
Just
25.
As long as it
Danny
doesn't go in the
just
deck,
stick it-
I'm happy.
Oh, I was like, scan it, send it to Danny, and get him to pop it in the deck.
Danny,
Oh,
do
you
the
do
thing.
it.
Danny, you techie boy, do the thing.
And finally-
25 of crows, please.
Yeah. Jago, you.
Me.
Thank you. Danny is saying
Me-
no in the
Me
chat.
is
Aw.
me is I, and I is existing at this point. Alive sounds like too much of an exaggeration for what is occurring right now, but I am currently still existing. Come by next time, and that might change. It might not. It might improve. It can't get any worse until I'm no longer existing. It's at this point, it's over the edge or it goes better. There's nowhere, I'm on the knife's edge. It can't get worse without going off the edge.
All I'm going to say is that was a brave statement. And I appreciate you for making it, Jago.
Thank you, at least someone does.
This will be referenced at some point.
It's been a long day. Take us away, Ben.
Oh, I will. As always, I've been Ben. You can find me anywhere and everywhere at Try Again Ben. Good luck seeing me do anything there, though, because I very rarely remember they exist.
It's okay, he'll try again.
One day. That's the whole shtick. When I'm not here, I work over at Diffius making stuff and anything and everything Fallouty. And when I'm not doing that, I write RPG things. So that's fun. And we will see you again in a couple of weeks, and then 3 weeks. All of the above. Thank you very much. Good night.